How many sheep have you killed?
How many sheep have I killed? Are we recording?
Yeah,
Oh, this is part of the interview?
Yeah, yeah.
I thought we were just still chatting.
No, we're
Shit, I should.
we're beyond chatting.
I should be cooler then.
You dyed your hair for it.
I did. Yeah.
I know.
That's what
I
I'm
like
doing
that.
these days. You like it?
I like it.
Cool. How many sheep have I killed? Well, too many to count, probably.
Really?
Too many to count. Yeah. Between the accidental deaths related to. Let me preface this by saying that none of the deaths were intentional. There's just different levels of accident that we're talking about here. There's the accidental deaths caused by
the broken glass that we talked about last time
in Volume 1, and then of course there's the ones who couldn't take suplexes well. Sheep do not know to tuck their chins. This is something you may not know about sheep, but they're not good at wrestling. But, you know, I mean, like, my friends lived, like, 15 miles away, and I was really into wrestling, and I wanted to do it all the time. So sometimes, you know, I'd be out there feeding them, and I'd be like, yeah. A couple of them went that way. I mean, not all sheep that I suplexed died. It's like a slim ratio here.
So sheep aren't good for facials.
Sheep, no.
They don't tuck the chin.
Don't tuck the chin. Don't sell. Well, they sell, actually, pretty well, but you have to, like... It's like wrestling brain damage. Like, you have to really, hit
Stiff
it home.
it.
Like,
yeah.
Then they'll sell.
Yeah. You have to really drop it on its head. It's going to lay there and bang.
And twitch a little bit.
So
totally sending my mom a copy of this DVD.
Yeah.
She's going to love it.
Yeah, your dad's going to love it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's how all the sheep die.
Mysteriously disappeared. No, I mean, I disposed of
right.
carcasses. It wasn't like he knew.
Yeah, it wasn't like you'd use them for dinner.
No.
Not even make use out of them. The Indians would be upset.
Mm-hmm.
Waste.
Well, Indians and I have never gotten along well.
No. Do you recycle?
I do not. I do not. I think Shannon and Gary were very offended by my lack of recycling, but as discussed earlier, I think that everybody is entitled to their own portion of the planet based on, the amount of space they take up, and I'm going to destroy mine, and it's my business. Everybody else can do what they want with their little section of the world. Mine is just getting wrecked.
Knocked on the door. He's like, "Are you decent?" And we're like, "Yeah." Open the door. Buck-ass naked 70-year-old guy. Like, really? If I went to see my grandfather's dick, I'd shower with him.
Just go to therapy and get those repressed memories out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Grandpa, touch me again. The fish and chips. Were you ever touched by your grandfather?
We're really shooting now, huh? Fortunately, no, I have not had that particular pleasure.
Well, that makes two of us, thank God. The therapy bills.
I see the truth in your eyes.
Yeah. I touched him. This year has been a lot of ups and downs with the injury.
2010 has fucking sucked, honestly.
On numerous levels.
Not a fan of 2010.
Well, 2012 we're all dead, so...
I suppose. It's going to have to be a downward spiral to it anyway.
So that's what they say. I've seen the movie.
The beginning of the end here?
Yeah, John Cusack, 2012.
Did John Cusack get away? What was the?
I don't know.
Did he survive? You've seen the movie? You're not going to give us spoilers?
I didn't see it. I just knew
You're just
it.
lying. You saw the trailer.
Yeah, I saw the trailer.
Shannon said he survived.
Does he survive?
All right.
Fucking Mayans, wronged again.
I like John Cusack. He's
I do
charming.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
Put a fucking radio over your head, it's all right.
I think it's really nice that he gets his sister into all those movies,
She's not attractive.
No, not remotely, and she wouldn't get work on her own. But, I think it's very decent that, he's like, yo, I'm filming a movie. It's probably in his contract.
Right. Hire my sister.
Mm-hmm.
So where are we at? Oh, the injury.
Yeah, sucked.
Why?
Why did it suck?
Tell me all the reasons. Or give me 5 good reasons.
5 good reasons that it sucked. Well, it occurred right as my unemployment was slated to run out.
Number one reason.
Which there was a happy turn because I got an extension. Because I milked that unemployment for 2 fucking years. Thank God the economy sucks so much.
Right.
Or I wouldn't have been able to be as lazy as I was. I mean, thank God for this economic downturn. I guess basically what happened for those who don't know, and I can't imagine why anybody would be watching this if they don't know, because why would they buy this if they didn't know I got hurt? That doesn't really make sense. But I'm going to explain it anyway, because I got nothing else to talk about. It went to do a fucking moonsault, which is just to the floor, which I've done a billion fucking times before, and fucking broke my heel. Like, I think brain damage was there to slow my descent. Wrestling's fake. And like he caught like one of my legs, but the other one snapped down even harder, and I broke my fucking heel bone. Like broke the like 2 chunks out of it, and they had to put 2 pins through it, and it was miserable and it hurt. And then I had to travel 14 hours back from Indiana with the broken heel and had not been diagnosed. So I was just fucking. It was a big van with like 12 people in it, so I was cramped in there and it was miserable. And I tried walking up to my apartment afterward using my roller bag as a sort of a cane.
Cane.
And the roller bags have like the little button on the top
Right.
that releases the. So I got about halfway here and pushed the button and went fucking down. And these very very nice people from across the way somewhere saw how pathetic and hobbled up I was and came and assisted me up to my apartment. Which there are still good Samaritans out there. Don't stop believing. You got to keep the faith, Gare. You can't get down.
Journey.
Keep the faith.
Bon Jovi.
Yeah,
Definitely,
exactly.
definitely not.
So that was one reason. You got 4 more.
Jesus, we're still on this? We're done with the broken heel.
It's broken
Do
heel.
some preparation. You can have more to talk about. It's been 4 years since I did my last interview.
It's been
I've gotta
2
have done
years.
something.
2
It's
years.
easily been 4 years.
No.
I hadn't even gone to Germany yet. I've been to Germany 4 times now. Why don't you talk about that?
Okay.
Jesus, I'm more prepared than you are. You.
Germany.
It's a nice country.
Right.
Lots of drinking.
East or west?
I go east all the way.
Right.
Let's go capitalism. Wait, that's wrong. Let's go communism then. Fuck it. I don't give a shit.
Stop stalling. Move on.
Okay. Was that a pun?
Yeah.
Stalin? I liked it.
It was.
Yeah, the first time I went to Germany, I was shortly after we filmed this first interview.
Right.
I remember talking about it, and it was coming up right thereafter. And I was slated to go over there with Drake and wrestle him. And what ended up happening was Drake missed like a flight
Connector.
or something like this, yes, and did not make it over there. So I got the news like at the airport that he wasn't coming. I was like, oh, fucking depressing, because he'd been over there once. He knew the people, and it's always
Right.
nice to go to a foreign country with somebody that you're comfortable with. And so then I didn't know what I was doing. I met all these new, and they were very cool to me or whatever. But it was just, it sucks because he wasn't there, and then I ended up like having to stick around and wait for a ride to my hotel for like 8 or 9 hours after the show, just hanging out at the fucking venue, which was pretty miserable. But we got very drunk, and I hung out with a few good people over there, and we decided that Steve Venom, who's apparently some indie worker in Germany who collects toys or something, it was terrible, and fuck Steve Venom. So that was like the theme of the night, and then I went ahead and brought that back to the States and said it at the end when I won TOD. I said, fuck Steve Venom. So that's what that was about. But then I was hanging out in Germany by myself in a hotel with nobody around and no phone numbers and nobody call, and I knew how to get, because we wanted to stay like an extra day because we were
Right.
going to hang out and see
Exactly.
the sights. But I kind of put all the responsibility on Drake. I'm like, he's been here before, he'll know how to get around. Well, he wasn't there, and so then I just got this whole fucking day to kill. And so I couldn't figure out the bus system, and the fewer Germans speak English than I was given to believe. So I ended up walking like more than I've ever walked in my entire life. It's nothing for you, Mr. Marathon Man, but for me it was a big deal. I walked like 7 miles to get to a McDonald's because I figured I could navigate that. On the way I stopped at some like local eatery and tried to order something and couldn't get it done and just bailed, so that was,
So that didn't work out so well.
didn't work out so well.
And Steve Venom.
Steve Venom, apparently a douchebag. I mean, I never met the guy. I have nothing against him. He's probably going to show up to a show sometime and fucking, shoot me, like, for
Execute you.
talking all this shit on him.
Yeah.
And I never met the guy, but fuck him anyway.
So that's trip number 1. Three more.
Number one,
3 trips to go.
I think 2. I think this will be the 4th trip.
Oh, this will be the
This
4th.
month, yeah. But they've been very enjoyable. Since then, they've improved. Went out to a lot of German
Establishments.
bars/clubs. Very cool. Drake dances
How well?
frantically when he gets drunk, and it's extremely enjoyable to watch. Like all these,
Like
all these
spasmodic
all the-
dancing? Or like
Huh?
gyrating his hips dancing? Or
like
like
running around the room, fucking rocking out.
Okay.
Dancing. It was very enjoyable. And all these, fucking, I'm going to call them Euro trash because that's a fun word to drop. all these Eurotrash are dancing and loving their fucking pop music, and you get Drake to a certain level of drunk, and he outdoes all of them, and it's incredible to watch. It's quite a sight. The second trip was the best trip because, as I just recalled, we went to Amsterdam first.
Ah,
And,
Gary's been to Amsterdam.
Yeah, it's good times, isn't it?
Good times.
He slept with a black man.
Gary, did you have to pay for it or?
€75.
Jesus God,
Wasn't a black man though.
racist. It's okay if it wasn't a black man. I could have hooked you up with a black man here. His name is Larry Legend. It'll cost you zero.
Larry doesn't like hot dogs.
Oh no, that's troublesome.
I don't like hot dogs.
Anyway, we went to Amsterdam. We spent like a week there.
A week?
Well, yeah, like 4 or 5 days.
Oh, wow.
It was good times, man. It was really good time. We hung out with Rene Dupree, who showed up, and we were all kind of like, we got a bum because I wanted to go to Amsterdam. You know, you heard all these things and how awesome it is, and it's a great city. And then like we were all kind of broke, and Drake and Sammy had been there for like 2 days before I was, because they did that like little something in England, and so they'd already kind of spent all their money.
Right.
They didn't care about me. Fuck me anyway. And so they had their good time before I got there. And then I got there and everybody's like broke and we can't really do anything. And then for some reason, randomly, Rene Dupree, who I, to be honest, had never even heard of before this trip. I guess he was a wrestler in some large organization, but I was not familiar with him. He was randomly like booked on this afternoon show before the deathmatch tournament for WXW. And so he showed up like the day before wanting to go out and hit the city. And we're like, yo, we'd love to, man, but we really don't have a lot of money. He's like, you want money, you talk to me. Let's just go. So we did like, it was like a pub crawl, except it was a weed establishment
Just a crawl.
You know, like the coffee shop crawl. And I think we probably, like it seemed like we walked a lot, but we probably only made it like a half a block between each place that we stopped into. And we did this for like 6 hours on end. And, it was quite enjoyable, man. Amsterdam's a wonderful city, and I'd love to go back and enjoy myself thoroughly. Rene Dupree stopped in to, I gotta tell you, I don't know if I should divulge Rene Dupree's sexual habits, but I don't think I'll ever see Rene Dupree again, so it doesn't really bother me that I'm gonna go ahead and drop this. He stopped into a couple of the red light district establishments, and we waited around awkwardly outside because we thought it would be what else?
The guy's buying, so you might as well wait till he gets his dick
absolutely.
sucked.
It's not like we're just gonna fucking bail. We don't have any money.
Yeah,
So that was enjoyable, and then the problem there, and I don't know exactly how much of this I'm at liberty to divulge, but I'll give the basics of the problem.
Reader's Digest version.
Reader's Digest condensed, yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with that trip was when we came on the train from Germany, or from Amsterdam to Germany. We were supposed to meet up with Devin Moore, who was going to be coming in for the show. And, of course, Devin Moore likes to puff on a little bit of herb now and again. He's fond of it.
Right.
And we thought it would be quite shitty of us as friends to not provide him with that experience.
Right.
And we had been given to understand that there was really no problem with transporting, from locals.
Right.
There's no problem with transporting weed from one place to another. Suffice to say that was not correct. And I guess, I should have it's Drake's story, I should let Drake tell it on his shoot interview, but basically dogs were involved. It was a very near-miss situation. We were all terrified. I thought certainly we were going to have to get to the venue and tell people picking us up that Drake Younger was in a German prison and we would not be seeing him again anytime soon. I was concerned for my friend. I was concerned for his asshole because I didn't know where the weed had ended up, but I knew that he'd tried to hide it. So it was a very frightening experience, and Drake Younger, consummate professional when it comes to avoiding the law or avoiding the consequences of the law, and I got to give him all credit due. He's tremendous at it. He got us out of the jam and still got the weed back. Didn't lose it or anything.
Didn't even lose it.
He's a pro, motherfucker. He's a pro. Much respect for Drake Younger.
The big program you had last year was the led up to Cage of Death with Sammy.
Sammy Callahan.
What were your thoughts of that whole program? Because it was kind of like booked on the fly.
It was a last minute thing based
Right.
on I think the crowd reaction to our initial interaction.
Right.
I will. going to try and choose my words very wisely here so that I don't
Tell
offend
Sammy
anyone.
that you don't like him.
I guess.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. No, Sammy. When I first met the guy, didn't like him, and I'm
Right.
not shooting on. He knows this.
Right.
I told him to his face. It's not a thing now.
Yeah.
But when I first met him, he rubbed me the wrong way, and I think that
Like up and down rubbed you, or
yeah,
side to
yeah,
side?
with sandpaper. That's the
That's-
wrong way.
That's
He
the
doesn't-
wrong
He doesn't
way.
know.
Yeah.
He just we didn't get along, and not to say we didn't get along, but we didn't click.
Click.
And I think that you and I'll give you credit for this here. 'Cause
No thanks.
no,
No,
you
I don't
want
know.
credit?
I don't think so. But go ahead.
I think you saw the potential there for that to become, why if there's a little bit of animosity, why not use it and turn it into a wrestling angle and intensify the feud? I mean, because up to that point, I had been just the laid back, goofy, slacker kind of character,
Right.
who hadn't ever been really involved in anything, really fiery. And we were able to kind of turn that to like where he did the angle where he slit my wrist and.
Which everybody believed was
Oh my God, Eddie Kingston believed that shit. Apparently, he was asking people why I got my. I mean, granted, I'm an idiot, so
Right.
people that know me think that I'm going to do something stupid, but that's a bit much. Like, that's rich. Come on. Anyway.
And that was last minute. You're like, oh, we're going to try this. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And then everybody believed it was real.
So
It is real.
it's absolutely real. Look how
Yeah,
my wrist is
just-
totally
yeah,
slit right there. Totally slit.
Or the other one.
Or the other one.
Yeah.
Either
like,
one.
You couldn't get tattoos there with a split wrist.
Well, I covered up the
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I think the reason it actually turned out to be a bit of a stroke of genius, although I was vehemently against it at the beginning, as you will recall.
Right.
I did not feel that I was of the caliber to carry a cage of death match one-on-one with anybody, and whatever. And I think the reason that the fans took to it so well is because, like, that kind of like little bit of standoffishness between us, it really registered. It really, because like Sami Callihan and Danny Havoc are just exaggerated extensions of the people that we are.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's just blown up of our personas, or our personalities rather. And I think that that's sort of like we're, shall we say, ideologically opposed in terms of the kind of person I am versus the kind of person he is. We clash a little bit.
Right.
And that really translated well into the feud, and the fans got behind it. You know what I mean? Like, Sammy is a far superior wrestler to me. I think he's very talented, and I don't always like his decision, but I think he's extremely talented. And he covered up a lot of my flaws in the ring, but I brought like the passion to the promos and the hatred, and a lot of people would get behind that, and like were like, oh yeah, this. I think I put into words what people weren't able to put their finger on about what they didn't like about his character. I mean, he's a heel,
Right,
so
right.
it's not like, I'm not saying he's a bad person, but like
Right.
what they didn't like about his character hadn't quite been identified. And then like I did a few promos and some write-ups and stuff and really lambasted him. And I think people got behind, like, oh yeah, that's why we don't like him. He's an emo faggot, and they
Right.
start yelling this shit. And it really, like, it intensified. I really think it worked out quite well. And over the course of it, Sammy and I actually came to terms with each other, and now for the most part we get along fairly well.
Rubs you the right way.
Well, we get along
No
fairly
sandpaper.
well. There's little animosity.
Right.
And I think we had some. I really like working with him. Honestly, he's very
Yeah.
talented and he's fun to work with, and he gets a little hyperactive sometimes. But if you can
Slow him down.
if you can slow him down, like we had some matches that I felt very positively about, and he's very intense. So then when I get blown up and exhausted, he can just start taking heat on me and beating me up, and then he's very good at it. And then I'll spit in his face and bring the fiery underdog passion back. It really worked out quite well, and I enjoyed our feud much more than I thought I would, and I felt pretty good about the Cage of Death match. There were a few things that didn't work out quite like I'd hoped, and in retrospect, we should probably both be dead, based on how many things we... Because, like, normally a Cage of Death match, in my time, since
Right.
I've been there, I've done fucking, 3, 4 of them now?
Right.
You've got, like, 6, 8 people in there taking the bumps.
Right.
Well, we had the same amount of shit to break and we were determined to break all of it, but it was just two of us.
Right.
So like we had to take everything like over and over and over, and it was fucking ridiculous and unsafe. And in hindsight, some of those things probably should have gone really awry and fucking permanently damaged us to the point of not being able to walk or being dead or something. But they didn't, and thankfully, and we got back after the match and shook hands and were pally and happy about it. And I thought it turned out quite well. I did not anticipate that it would be what it was, but I was happy with it.
Yeah, I was extremely happy with
Good.
it. You know what I mean? Because it was the
Yeah.
first time you had a one-on-one cage since, what, Cage of Death 4?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that was years upon years.
Well, I think that the performance was there, and I think that the tension that built up prior and the trying to think like the momentum that we took into it with the feud and it happened to I wrestled him at Pondo's
Right.
like a month before, and that didn't play into our storyline in CZW, but a lot of people saw it.
Right.
And we kept the hate there. You know what I mean? We
Right.
This is something that I'm gonna fucking use this as my my podium to preach about things I hate in wrestling. Territories are fucking dead.
Correct.
Everybody's got the internet. Everybody knows where everybody's wrestling. I say what you will, but people are just trying to like relive the territories thing and like, oh, I'll be a heel here and a face here and play a totally different character. And I understand what you do. You know, you're paying tribute to the things of the past. But I don't fucking like it, man. I think if you're a heel, you should be a heel. Your face, you
Everywhere.
should be a face, because it destroys the credibility of the character that you're trying to present. Like it totally fucks that up. Like you're trying to be this really unlikable heel, but then you go out to Indy and this guy's a face. You know what I mean? Like a lot of those people are, they're going to know you from your work in CZW, and it's just completely destroying the any kind of credibility that you set up. And another thing, since we're talking about Sami Callihan, this bothers the fuck out of me. I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm not sure how it happened. Maybe the fans are just terrible people, but which is entirely possible. But
Except for the ones buying the DVD.
yeah, those
Yeah,
fans rule. Oh, there's some very good fans. But like
Right.
at the last CZW show, which, mind you, it's been less than a year since
Right.
he slit my wrist.
Right.
We made him the most unlikable son of a bitch, evil
Correct.
scumbag. He's kidnapping people and torturing them and slitting wrists and trying to murder people.
Right.
Less than a year, this guy's got a face turn. He's getting pops. He's getting cheered for as the underdog, the plucky underdog. I'm sorry, but that just destroys everything we worked for all last year to make him this terrible fucking evil heel.
Don't-
Why can't he just run with that?
Don't blame me.
I'm not blaming you. You know who I'm blaming. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Slit my fucking wrist, motherfucker. Getting drunk now.
The whole plan was, I mean, the angle that you and I talked about was he was
Tommy
going
Dreamer, Raven, whatever
Yeah,
it is. Keep it
yeah,
going
exactly.
forever. We could come back to this feud whenever
right.
we wanted.
Yeah, that's why he went over.
I liked it.
And he should have always been a heel, but that's neither here nor there.
That was how I felt. So I
Wait,
went to
what-
Mexico.
That's right.
That was
DTU.
fun, really fun. I don't think I'll be invited back because there.
Are they still running?
I'm not sure. Probably.
Like that seemed like that was it was this. We're gonna do. It was like CZW promoted them out the wazoo. You know what I mean? Like, oh, DTU, and like.
Well, no, DTU had been running
Right,
prior to
but-
CZW.
Right,
for
but
a
there was
while.
never any, contact. I know there was like discussion of like, oh, they might bring
Yeah,
somebody up
some weird
for.
promotional.
Yeah.
I think basically we had a very good time down there.
Correct.
And I had been to. I was not actually excited about this trip. I was always excited about my trips to Europe. I wasn't excited about this
Right.
trip. I'd been to Mexico previously. Didn't particularly enjoy myself. I went with my grandparents. Slept on a couch. It was like 110 degrees in the middle of the night. There were stray dogs barking everywhere. It was just miserable. I didn't enjoy myself at all. The only good thing that came out of it actually was this cool belt that I'm wearing.
And the donkey show with your grandmother.
Well, obviously, it was enjoyable, but
But Grandpa didn't touch you, so that's all that matters.
No, we kept it on the low. It's appropriacy in the Midwest, We keep things family appropriate. Anyway,
Sheep
so
killer.
I wasn't really looking forward to it. I didn't have a good opinion of Mexico going in, but I ended up having a great time. Went to Mexico City, fucking really cool. They showed us around. Everything was really cheap. We went out. We stayed in a cool hotel. Had a big hot tub in it. but we didn't use it because it's just me and Drake, and that would have been kind of weird. But it was nice that it was there. Like, we
Right.
felt like they were really treating us well.
Right.
You know? And so anyway, like we went down there and really had a good time. And the only problem was on the second day we did a show in Tulancingo, which was sort of like last minute. I didn't know we were doing 2 shows. I thought
Right.
we were doing 1. And then they're like, oh, we got this other show in Tulancingo. Let's do that. I went out there, and then conveniently, now I'm not sure where to place the blame, but conveniently everybody that you would talk to about money was, funds were off and they were not available. And so unfortunately everything got shifted onto this guy, Violento Jack, who was extremely cool and decent.
Mhm.
He's just one of the boys, you know, and then suddenly he had this burden of like figuring out where our money is supposed to be
Right.
placed on his shoulders because nobody's answering their phones and they didn't come to the show. Like, why are the bookers not at the show?
Right.
It was definitely suspect. But he ended up getting us sorted, and very cool guy. Strongly recommend that we try and use Violento Jack, and Aeroboy, also quite cool. Everybody was very nice to us down there, actually. Just there was that issue, but I do not anticipate that we will be invited back based on the awkwardness of the situation.
Yeah.
You know, like, I've sent a couple emails requesting like some merch, or like we did some interviews for like some
Mhm.
magazines and stuff,
Right.
and haven't received a reply. So I think it was a one-time thing with CZW DTU, but it was really fun. And we got to go to a CMLL show at Arena Mexico.
Cool.
And,
Wow.
it was really fun, man. It was really cool. Like a good experience, and made me think better of Mexico than I had from my previous experience. So that was good.
What do you think the chances are going to Japan now that there's some formation of possibly Big Japan and CZW?
This is one of the DJ Hyde things that I'm in favor of, is opening that door back up, getting in contact with Big Japan. I certainly hope I'm able to go. That is one of a select few things that keep me wrestling, keep me motivated to stick around, 'cause I'd like to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I know he's got Kasai coming over. You know, he's talked about some other people potentially coming over. So I think there's the possibility is there. DJ has given me the impression that perhaps next year, you know, he will fund the sending of me and maybe like Drake and a couple other deathmatch guys. And so I'm crossing my fingers and knocking on wood for that one, because that's honestly at this point, like,
That's
I still love wrestling, but there's so much like bullshit and drama, and everybody acts like a high school girl, and it just pisses you off, and it's hard to be in a good mood about it anymore, man. It's hard to be in a good mood about it anymore.
really.
Yeah, I know. I'm bitter now. It took me just a couple years, and now I'm all bitter and shitty and mad. But I still love wrestling. I still love being a part of it. I love what I think it could be.
Right.
And unfortunately, 2010 pro wrestling on any level, in America anyway, is just fucking depressing. But I'm the travel is really why I'm sticking out, because
Right.
I haven't improved my real life enough to the point where I just have the money to travel
Right.
around wherever I want. So I still wouldn't be able to just fly to Germany like I'm doing in November, or potentially go to Japan like next year, because I've always put wrestling first, and I never got a really good job and started making real money. So, but they fly me there, and I go
Right.
places, and it's fucking cool, and that's still a lot of fun, and that's one of my major motivating factors in continuing to be Danny Havoc, is to be able to work that into trips.
What do you see after wrestling? You mean, like, how long do you envision doing this? Get back from Japan, retire?
Maybe, I don't know. Like I feel like I need to find. This is getting too fucking personal. Shoot! God damn it, Burns, you're taking me down that road. I feel like I need to find another passion, something
Right.
that I care about before I can give up wrestling. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because like, if you don't have something that you're passionate about, then what are you doing? So you got to have something that you. And wrestling has been my passion for years, and I still feel passionately about it, and I still hope that it works out. And I'd like to continue doing it for several more years, or a handful more years. I don't know. We'll see. I'm feeling old physically. I guess that happens when you jump off balconies and stuff all the time and
Yeah.
fall off cages. But I'm not feeling crippled yet. you
Right.
know. I'm still feeling like I can move. I'm less inclined to do moonsaults.
I believe that.
Since the heel incident, I don't do quite as much jumping around. But
Do you think you're more selective now on like taking the crazy bumps? You know what I mean?
yeah, I think I've toned it down. Hopefully, not to the point where people
Where
are bored
bored
with me,
with it, yeah.
but I've toned it down. Trying to occasionally wrestle a little bit more. I'm not good at it, but I try to do it regardless.
So, after wrestling, what do you know what I mean? Do you have anything in mind?
I might I'm thinking about going to art school or something.
Right.
Something like that. I don't know. I gotta find something else that I would enjoy that I'd be able to make money at. That was a depressing realization about wrestling, was that I in spite of what I knew and being a fairly intelligent, person, I understood that wrestling wasn't going to make me a lot of money.
Right.
But I kind of thought that it was going to make me enough money that I could do it for a living.
Right.
But at the level that I'm at, no. Gary's over here depressingly shaking his head. At the level that I'm at, calling wrestling a job is like calling setting up a little tent at the flea market on the weekends a job. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's
Now he's offended.
it's
He
not
likes
a
flea
job,
markets.
Gary. You can make some money on the weekend, but it's not gonna
Right.
pay your bills. That's what I'm saying. And it's nice. I wouldn't wrestle for free at this point in my
Right.
career. I did it too many times when I started and got guardrails dropped on my head by people who now own companies. But and then got concussions and couldn't figure out how to get out of my parking lot. God damn it, Deej. God damn it, Deej. That hurt. But yeah, I wouldn't do it free. I make money, and sometimes I make decent money.
Right.
I guess, but you can't it's not a full-time thing.
Right. You can't base once a month or twice a month on it.
You can't drink. You're driving. Busted on camera.
You can't base 1 week in a month on your whole living.
I really can't. No. You don't know where I live? You'll never get me. Never get me in frame.
The TV special where they did
Oh shit! I forgot all about that.
Shit,
So see,
bitch.
if you'd done some preparation, we would have been on this hours ago.
All right, let's talk about that.
TV special. That was kind of cool,
Was it G4?
kind of stupid, kind of embarrassing. A little of each. It was
Right.
It was G4. They contacted me through DJ or Maven or somebody like this, and said, "Oh, we're trying to do a little." And they were doing a television show, and I think it was fairly short-lived. We called G4 Underground, where they focused on interesting jobs that people have, or interesting passions, or what. I don't remember if it was just jobs or what, but they were doing something about hardcore wrestling, and they wanted somebody who that they could focus on, who they'd come into their home, shoot some stuff, somebody who was fairly well spoken and could talk about the motivations behind doing something
Right.
like this. And I was excited about it. I was like, "Oh, I was more excited when I thought I was getting paid, because
Right.
I didn't get paid." But yeah, documentary. There's some documentary loophole where you don't get paid for documentaries.
Damn it.
Because then you'd have to join a guild. I don't know. It's all bullshit anyway. They just don't want to pay me.
What kind of guild?
The Actors Guild.
Oh,
or
okay.
something like that. Which I should have, because I totally acted my way through that whole thing anyway. But so footsie.
Hey now.
So they contacted me, wanted to do this thing, and I was like, yeah, absolutely, that'd be cool. And I was still excited, because I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be on TV. That's neat.
Right.
I'm representing. For this 15 minutes, I'm the face of independent deathmatch wrestling. And that was neat. I was totally into it. And they came to my home in Wisconsin, and it was fairly intrusive and weird and awkward. But
Did they use your toilet and leave an upper decker?
Christ. No, not quite.
Not quite that intrusive.
Not quite that intrusive. No.
That would have been hot.
All right. But they came in, and so I was thinking they're just going to ask me some questions. I really didn't know what to expect. They'll just ask me some questions. It'll be like one of these kind of deals.
Right.
You just sit down, I'll interview it. And, but then they wanted to go, out on the town to some of my favorite eateries and, what's my life like, and get all reality TV on me.
Uh-huh.
And it was fucking weird and awkward. And I didn't have favorite eateries because I was in Wisconsin, and I had favorite bars, but I didn't didn't want to take a camera crew to my favorite bars because how weird is that? I'm never going to come in here again. I'm walking in with a camera crew. That's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, you did.
So I took him to some like random pizza shop I'd never been to, and we had to sign waivers with the pizza owners and stuff. Yeah. But basically, it was cool, and I'm glad I got to do it. But it was all totally bullshit.
Right.
Like if you watch it, anybody who knows me at all knows that that's not me on camera. You know, that's my face. But the things coming out of my mouth are not like they're not accurate. You know.
Right.
And my wife acting all fucking concerned, like she was scared for my health because I was going off to do it. Bullshit. I mean, like she don't want me to die, but she's not like, oh Jesus, can't believe he's wrestling this weekend. I'm so scared. But that's what they wanted.
Right. They wanted the drama.
Extremely clear that that's what they wanted.
Right.
And not to the point of telling me what to say, but to the point where like they'd ask me a question and I'd answer it honestly.
Right.
And then it's not really what we wanted. Ask it again, and they'd go through like to the point where like they'd ask me a question like 4 or 5 times
till they got the answer.
Till they got what they wanted, and then that's the edit that they took. Yeah, that's the cut that they used, and I caught on to this fairly quickly, and so I played along. And in retrospect, part of me kind of wishes I wouldn't have. I wish I would have been more stubborn, but I was just like, fuck, whatever. It's cool. I'm on TV.
Right.
So, but like it was all very acted. It was all very melodramatic, and then of course, the things that they used were edited out of a day's worth of filming.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a day at my house and then a day in CZW.
Right.
And then they actually called me and had me do some fucking lines over the phone that are especially not accurate to how I feel.
Right.
And you can tell if you ever watch it, like, there's these, like, piped in, like, voiceover lines that they had me do on the internet, like, record line. They just fed me line. This is actually just lying then. It's not even, like, coaching me. That's just straight up telling me what to say. But, it was a cool deal, but just as long as, I hope that fans of mine or anybody who has seen it understands not to take it at face value.
Right.
It was not accurate to my life. It was just the portrayal they wanted, and then they took all these hours of footage that they filmed because they're there forever, and they cut it into a 15-minute thing and used the most dramatic parts. And they actually, like, some of the pizza shop conversation, they actually, like, cut sentences out of different conversations and stuffed them together to make what they wanted.
Right.
And I got into a little bit of trouble because I said something about, like, how all promoters are two-faced scumbags. Right. And I got a couple of unpleasant, or not unpleasant, unhappy emails from Maven. He said John had called him up right after he saw that. What the fuck? We pushed this kid and he fucking goes on TV and called him. I wasn't really speaking about John. Right. I mean, for the most part, I like John pretty well. Right. I was speaking more of certain other promoters that I've worked for over the years that shall remain nameless. But you can take your guesses. But they felt the need to include that. Of all the fucking shit I said for hours, they stuck that in there and then got me in fucking hot water. I was drunk and I didn't know what I was talking about, like now, and it's fucking,
The one line you throw in there gets you all the heat.
Exactly, yeah. So they weren't thrilled, and then I proceeded to not get booked for like 2 months at a time for a long time, which I was not. I was a little bit salty about because I'd moved to Wisconsin with the understanding before I ever even decided to move, that hey, would you guys still use me? Because I was still very into it. I wanted to be part of CZW, and then I think that probably didn't help my case. I'm sure it was a money issue. That probably didn't help my case though. That I was talking some shit on TV, and so there were a few periods where they didn't bring me in, and I was actually this close to quitting the show that DJ took over on. I was strongly contemplating having that be my last show. I was mad as hell. I was in a crabby fucking mood. I was going to walk in there and just be done. Right. And DJ took me aside and talked to me about how he was going to be taking over the company and things were going to change. And I believed him, and I guess that's yet to be seen. But I stuck around, and I think I'm glad that I did. Right. But I say what you will about DJ, and he certainly still makes thank you. He certainly still makes me angry on a number of occasions, but DJ has. I've liked working for DJ better than I liked working for John, to just be honest. And I have no problem with John. John was always cool to me. Mm-hmm. But DJ is a little more receptive to like things that I say. He considers me to be a little more maybe important. He actually listens to some of the suggestions that I make, and I like that. People that work for other people, they like to have input that makes them feel important, especially when they've been around for fucking 6 years, killing themselves trying to, you know,
Right.
do well in the company. It's nice to have some input. And DJ's done some good and bad things, and I disagree with a number of decisions he's made since he's taken over, but he did pay me when I was injured, and he did make sure that he rented us a car so that we could get out to the JC Memorial Show, because me and Devin and Sammy did not, between us, because we're indie wrestlers, have the
Right.
money to get this together ourselves. So he's done some definitely some good things too. So
Show called DVLH, and me versus Drake Younger in the main event light tubes match. And what DVLH is, for those of you who aren't aware of him, Luke Hadley, who will be very pleased that I remember to plug him after the fact, is a strange, manic, somewhat creepy but entirely lovable character from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. He's of backyard wrestling fame. And he and his friend Nick Hoffman, who is a bar owner in Sturgeon Bay, if you ever get the chance, you're in the area, stop in Nick's Red Room. Cheap plug again. I'm making everybody happy on this one. They got together and decided that they were going to put on a show, and they've been talking about this for a long time. And I'll be honest, I didn't really know that I thought it was ever going to happen, but they finally did. And I think it was like the summer of '07 maybe, or maybe the summer of '08. I'm not sure. So anyway, they flew in myself and a bunch of my friends, and it was like just one of the most fun shows that I ever had the pleasure of being on, and had some random antics that were pretty enjoyable. And so anyway, like Luke picked me up at the airport and drove me to Sturgeon Bay, and I came in later than everybody else. So by the time I got there, everybody had been drinking for free for hours. And like this crew consisted of Drake Younger, Scotty Vortex, Dustin Lee, Necro Butcher, Insane Lane, Freak Show, Billy Graham, etc. A lot of people that you probably don't want to let drink for free at your bar, and certainly not for hours on end. And when we pulled up outside the bar, I see Delaware Mike running for his life across the street, and I thought perhaps there was some sort of a riot going on. And then in hot pursuit comes Drake Younger, drunk out of his fucking mind, and he was dead set on giving him some sort of Death Valley driver in the middle of the street in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, somewhat reminiscent of when Scotty Vortex gave Loud Fan a Michinoku driver on the sidewalk outside of Nichols. Always fun, and I think my arrival was the only thing that saved Delaware Mike, because Drake drunkenly turned and, "Danny Havoc, man!" and jumped up on me and hugged me, and I fell over, and it was that. And so we continued to drink for free for hours there, and during the course of the evening, I believe Drake got up to do some sort of a Drake-esque dance across the table, and Necro Butcher punched him in the balls extremely hard. Drake fell off the table. It was very amusing. Necro gave some sort of nonsense explanation about how champions don't act like this or something. I think basically he was just looking for an excuse to punch Drake Younger in the balls, and we all get a good chuckle out of it, except Drake Younger, who was in pain on the floor. Scotty Vortex was extremely wasted and being quite belligerent and inappropriate with some women down the end of the bar. And at bar time, we all went to leave. Scotty had to be dragged away from the bar physically and muscled into the car, shut the door, walk around to the other side of the car, and all of a sudden the door's open. Scotty sprung out. He's pounding on the wall. He will not be kicked out of this bar, even though they technically didn't kick us out. We were just leaving, but Scotty didn't know that. He was out of it. So he's demanding to be let back into the bar. Drake and I had to drag him physically, restrain him, shove him in the car, hold the door shut until it left. And we get back to this cabin that Luke had procured for us, and Scotty proceeds to pass out on the couch. And this is not a good group of people probably to pass out around. So during the course of the night, I think Scotty had various electronics, microwaves, end table, things like that, placed on top of him. These were moved off. He had random, probably about 30 or 40 empty and half full beer cans whipped at his head at speed. Didn't wake up, strangely enough. Necro chucked his luggage bag at him, which was easily 30 pounds, hit him in the head. Scotty was out enough to the point where he rolled over and said, "I'll fight you," and then immediately passed back out. So everybody decided, clearly he's not getting up for anything. The coup de grace obviously would have to be as it tends to be in homoerotic circles, let's stick something in his ass. And listen, I'm not saying that I approve of sticking things in our friends' asses. I'm not sure why people find this fun. I did not participate, but I was a party to it, and I certainly had a few laughs at his expense. And then it was lit on fire, and there is footage of this that you can get, DVLH, I promised Luke I would plug that, it will be coming out soon, where Scotty has something stuck in his ass, lit on fire, and then he nonchalantly tries to figure it out while he's too drunk to even put words together. So that's something to look out for, pretty enjoyable. And then this entire crew of hooligans gets up the next morning, extremely hungover, and proceed to put on a wrestling show in this extremely small town, which had probably never before had a wrestling show within 40 miles of it. And not only was it a wrestling show, which was new to these fans, but we also did increasingly violent death matches. So they were losing their fucking minds. This one Wisconsinite woman who gave the impression of probably being drunk every single day, because that's what they do in Wisconsin. She slid in the ring during Drake and my match. Tried to interject herself. Very nearly got a boot to the face. Fortunately, one of her cohorts restrained her, pulled her back out. Keep an eye out for that. It should be on the DVD somewhere. And Drake and I got the grandest treatment that I have ever had at any wrestling show, which is we were pulled to the ring by donkey cart. So you really need to include the intro to this match because it was probably the best part of the whole thing. We decided that apparently in Wisconsin, it's an acceptable career to just own a donkey. Like you can do enough with that you can just make a job out of it. So this guy just had a donkey. Name was Gizmo. Rest in peace. Gizmo's dead now. He sadly passed on. It's a shame. And that was what he did. Like he entered him into parades and different events around the community, and he made money off of owning this donkey. And I'm telling you with absolutely just complete certainty, this guy was sleeping with that donkey. That was what I mean. Like he was a creep, a nice creep. I mean, everybody's got to do their own thing. I'm not casting any aspersions. But this guy had a relationship with that donkey that was preternatural. It was odd. But we decided, like, shit, there's a donkey around town and it's going begging. Why not just fucking use this? It'd be like WrestleMania. They pulled the carts to the ring. Well, so we got a donkey cart. We were escorted out to the ring by Gizmo. We made the rounds, slapped fives, petted the donkey, and it went back to its horrible life in this guy's raping barn. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Gizmo has passed on, and that's shitty. But and then we proceeded to have a light tube match in front of people who'd never seen wrestling before, and they lost their fucking minds. And it was going extremely well. Probably would have been one of the better matches that I'd ever had. Except toward the end, we had a few more things that we had planned out, because that's how wrestling works. You plan it out. I'm just shooting all over it. It's done. Wrestling is dead. And I went for a sunset bomb on Drake on some light tubes, and there was a miscommunication whereby I thought that I was going to my feet and then I was going to walk out and drop him on the tubes, and Drake thought we were going all in one motion. So he gets dumped on the back of his fucking head, and like a shotgun blast hole opens up, and all of a sudden he's just pissing blood out of the back of his neck. And to his credit, he got it taped up, got his shit together, and we finished the match. We had to cut a few things, but so look for that. If you're wondering why the end seems a little awkward on the DVLH Danny Havoc versus Drake Younger match, it's because he wasn't supposed to fucking fall on his head and die and bleed all over the place and nearly sever his spine. But so that was that, and basically that's the story. I guess it's not necessarily that interesting, but if you were wondering why we were escorted to the ring by donkey cart, or exactly what went wrong, the miscue on the old sunset bomb, there's your little behind the scenes on that match, and it also had some incredible drunken commentary by Dysfunction, who I think was like 30 vodka and whatever he mixes with vodka's deep, and just starts yelling random shit. So enjoy.
Wrestling in the Midwest. He wrestled for Dysfunction's group. And
I wrestled for Kurt on a number of occasions, and I wrestled for
Eric Cannon
once, which
right.
I wish I could have done again, because that was a lot of fun. Big fan of Eric Cannon. He's a cool guy, treated me very well, paid me more than I asked for because I got hurt, and I think he felt bad, and just was very decent. Man, enjoyed that experience tremendously. And he likes goulash, and I like goulash. And if you're not from the Midwest, you might not know what goulash is, but it's delicious. Check it out.
Goulash.com.
Not Drew Goulash.
Right.
No, working for Dis was always a lot of fun. Totally different like wrestling scene out there in the Midwest. Like
Right. That's what I was asked.
Here, like it's very like indie oriented. I mean, on the indies, obviously.
Right.
Very indie oriented. It's very like you know, you're looking at like the.
You gotta try and
Ring of Honor,
outthink the
Dragon
crowd.
Gate. It's very indie oriented. It's very smart mark oriented. Out there, it's a lot more like they were booking guys like. I bet like guys like X-Pac, Jerry Lynn, stuff like that.
Right.
'Cause they were,
Right.
Those names popped in mind because they were on.
They were on that show.
On that show I did for Eric Cannon. But like, there's all these like kind of ex-ECW or ex-WWE guys or whatever that are. I bet they get a lot more money out there. I bet they get a lot of work because it's more of a television crowd, you know.
Right.
So then you got like the indie guys on the bottom half or 2/3 of the card, and then there's usually a couple names sprinkled in. So that was much more important to those fans and to even the guys who wrestled there, was that there would be some names to draw for the events. But it was a lot of fun, and I don't even know what it's called now. It used to be ICW.
It's back to it's
then
back
it
to
was NWA
insane.
something.
Yeah, then it was NWA Insanity.
Right,
Now it's
but-
back to ICW.
But that was fun. They always good crew of guys out there. Made some friends. Enjoyed my time immensely. They had shows at a bar, so we always got drunk and had a good time.
Yeah, I heard lots of
lot
good
of fun.
times afterwards.
Yeah, definitely some good times there.
Oh, Gary wanted to ask the question of how mad you are at your wife for buying you the shitty belt to face Ito.
Oh, I know. That woman sabotaged my
And it looked like I was blowing you.
inevitable success against Ryuji Ito. I mean,
Right.
clearly I was going to go over him like 4 minutes into that match or something, and my belt broke. And then I was trying to like beat on him and fix it, and it wouldn't happen, and you had to duct tape it, and it was terrible, and it ruined the match. And I was all excited about
Right.
this match because this is my first time I've ever wrestled like a big Japan guy.
Right.
It seemed like a big deal, you know?
Right.
And he was like deathmatch champion, I think, at the time, or maybe
Yeah.
maybe just previously. And it felt like a big deal. I was really excited and trepidatious about it. And then my belt broke, and then there were a couple cool bumps in the match, but the match itself was horrible because for half of it I'm trying to hold
Fidget.
my pants up.
Yeah.
That was when I invested in a singlet, because I'll just lose the pants if I got a singlet. But if I'm not wrestling Ryuji Ito in my boxers. That's just it's just embarrassing. I'm not doing it.
You don't want your balls falling
I
out.
really don't. It's no good. I didn't want to take that bump onto the barbed wire trampoline and just my drawers. You know?
Have a nut get ripped
It
off.
was very unpleasant, wasn't it?
I would have sold a lot of DVDs
Yeah.
if your nut got ripped
True,
off.
true.
How'd you like the trampoline?
Trampoline was a really cool gimmick that made the match. I mean, that was kind of all they gave us, but
Right.
it was a really cool deal. It was fun. I mean, like I bounced. It was neat. It was neat. Didn't hurt that bad. And then I wrestled Miyamoto the next year, and I really enjoyed that. He was super cool. Bought each other some drinks. He barely spoke English, but we had a very good time at the bar afterward, and I think I ingratiated myself to him by buying him some drinks, and then he returned the favor. So thumbs up Miyamoto, good guy.
Nice.
Good guy, in as much as I could understand.
I don't think you picked that match. Did you?
Probably not. The
No.
match was mediocre, but the
Right. The
the
afterwards
experience was good.
Good.
I felt good about it.
I know one of the matches we have on the list is you and Devin, the finals of 2018
Yeah.
at Death.
That was fucking scary. I am done with scaffolds. Scared of heights, very acrophobic, and then I ended up in this fucking thing, and I don't wrestle for Ian Rotten anymore for unrelated reasons, but I should have probably said no to that. But I didn't get injured, and
Right.
it looked really cool. So
Oh yeah, it
I
looked
guess,
like $1 million bucks.
That's like probably the aesthetically, that's like the visual highlight of my career right there. It was the coolest looking bump I ever did, you know.
Right.
And Chucky was injured and his knee was screwed up, and I was scared. He was scared that he wasn't going to hold me, but he's a good friend, and there's nobody I would rather do a scaffold match with than Devin Moore. He knows what he's doing, and he held it together long enough to keep me safe and tuck my head, and that's all I ask, you know. He didn't drop me and my knee, you know.
He didn't let you crash and burn.
No, that's my guy. It's my go-to guy for scaffold matches or anything like that. He's not scared of heights at all. He loves jumping off scaffolds.
Right.
That's his favorite thing in the fucking world. Like, I think he probably has his bed elevated just so he can like
His
hop
bunk
off it every
beds.
morning. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a bunk bed just for fun, just to do a
Absolutely.
shooting star off in the morning.
Absolutely.
What about the Carnage Cups?
Carnage Cup. I always enjoyed Carnage Cup, actually. Not necessarily the product so much, but enjoyed the times I went down there. It's just fun, because like we all just kind of chill out, and there's an atmosphere of just kind of being able to go there and just enjoy yourself,
Right.
Just have fun and like did some crazy stuff there. I'm not saying that, but like it's just more laid back. The kayfabe is not worried about it at all, so we can
Right.
just all go stand out there and watch the matches and joke and laugh and
Right.
that's fun. Had a match with I think I put it on the list with Wax that I was
Right.
really happy with. Like, Wax was kind of hit or miss sometimes, but I really enjoyed that match and thought that he did really well and worked hard, and we had an enjoyable little glass smashing fest. So
Fest.
that was
Would you
good.
go back down?
I'd absolutely go back
Right.
down. I mean, like they paid me quite well,
Right.
and they always flew me. There's no, they didn't always fly me, but they always made sure that I didn't.
You're never.
I was never put out. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
yeah.
they paid for the rental car and got somebody who was willing to drive a long ways or something.
Right.
So no, I always had a good time down there. Like, and I miss Insane Lane and Freak Show. Those guys are fucking cool, man. They're fun to hang out with. I miss them. When am I ever gonna see those guys again?
Right.
I don't spend a lot of time in Alabama.
Does anybody?
Nah, people who live there. I don't.
Right.
I'm
Not
sure.
much to do there.
Yo, you know what was funny? Was they did that show in Pulaski, Tennessee.
Right.
Which was one of the Carnage Cups. It was a few years back. I think that was maybe the one that you booked, right?
Right.
That was the last one you booked, right?
Right. That was where Drake
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Wax,
that
where
one.
everybody got hurt.
Everybody got hurt because you're reckless.
No. The real story is.
Anyway,
Can I tell
That
the
was a-
real story?
what's the real story?
The promoter, I'm not speaking bad about the promoter, but he's like, "You think anybody will have some meat hanging out?" You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard that.
I was like,
that's,
it was just like the jinx.
That's very distressing to work for somebody who says that.
Yeah, it was, and it was just like the jinx because we had like 3
Yeah,
injuries,
there were a lot of injuries. Yeah.
and it was all fluke
But
shit.
it was in Pulaski, Tennessee, which was
Correct.
the birthplace of the KKK, and we drove, and I rode with like Wax and I think Andy and Sabato
Right.
was the car, which was a very interesting car trip, I'll tell you. And Wax drives while texting like all the
Yes.
time, and like it's over here, so he's not even looking at the road. But eventually, I just had to leave it to fate and just
Fate,
go to
yeah.
sleep. I'm like, if I die, I die. But
Right.
Wax is not going to stop texting, so that's just not going to happen. But on the way out, we saw like I think it was 2, but maybe even 3 like blood drop flags, which is the KKK, the symbol, the flag, like flying right underneath the American flag on these different properties on the way out. I'm like, wow, things really haven't changed here for a long time, have they? That was interesting. It was a wake up call. How prominent the KKK must still be in certain parts of the South. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
That was a good little building, though.
Yeah, it was fun, man. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that show.
Yeah, it was craziness.
Yes, sir.
Eddie's ass bleeding like crazy.
Sexy Eddie. Double Death Weekend was quite an enjoyable weekend, and some of it I can't go into, but some of it I can. I know that Viking is a fun guy to drink with. He gets fucking hammered and makes like no sense, and he's talking in his weird French Canadian accent. And like I had to drive from Joliet to La Crosse, Wisconsin, which is 5
Okay.
hours. And I had Dysfunction with me.
Right.
And we were going to just like stop by the hotel, say hi to everybody, hang out a little bit, and then bounce.
Right.
And he kept demanding that I do one more Jack Daniels shot. I think it turned into like 17. We drove 5 hours, and it took us 6 because it took me an hour to figure out how to get out of Joliet. We couldn't find the interstate.
Right.
Because Kurt was doing them too. He was no good. His
Yeah.
navigation skills were worthless.
Speaking of jokes, you won Tournament of Death 7,
I
so
did.
you say.
I did, in fact.
It's a work.
It's a total work.
How soon did you know that you were winning it? That day?
That day, when I showed up, I was told, you will be winning.
Tournament
And I'm
of
like,
Death.
oh, neat. And I felt like I probably should have reacted more.
Like, finally, this is what
statically,
I've...
but- Well, what happened was, and this is kind of something that I know I'm not really all that good, Okay, I get it. I'll concede to that point.
Was that like one of the ones where they just gave you because somebody wasn't there?
Like, I mean, they handed me a title. Like, instead of winning a title, they hand me a title. Like, I was awarded it. You know, like that shows very little faith in old.
Not
Davey
like
Boy.
the check at the door with Ed McMahon. That's a good award.
That's a good award. I would like.
Right, that's fucking 50 grand
No, but
or
like
whatever.
the TOD thing, like the only real regret that I have about it, because it was cool to win, and
Right.
I felt ecstatic when I was up there on their shoulders with the trophies and everything, or with the trophy. But the thing that I was kind of disappointed about was I really didn't have a good performance throughout the day. Like the finals were cool; they were
Right.
big and crazy, and a lot of glass broken and barbed wire cutting, and we got no wait, it's over here. This nasty thing from Nick
Nice.
Gage dropping me on shit, and so the finals were cool. But then like the first round, I was supposed to wrestle Necro, but through the whole story, which was like my least favorite storyline I've
Oh,
ever been
I
involved
talked
in.
about that
The
storyline.
Hollywood Dylan Summers.
Yeah.
I hated it so much. But
How can we forget that shit?
Yeah, well, because it's been, I told you, it's like 3 years. That's a lot to remember.
But that was
I don't remember
garbage.
yesterday.
But go ahead.
Yeah, so like through the storyline bullshit we were doing at that time, they replaced him with the Ram, who was like some like indie guy from around here who was Mickey Rourke's stunt double
Right.
in the movie, The Wrestler, and I wrestled him, and it was pretty forgettable. And then in the second round, it was one of those big schmas, like four-way things, and I felt like the first two matches, like I had fun, you know,
Right.
and like working with Greg is always enjoyable. He's fucking great, but I didn't like. It was no like, wow, I really got through the the fucking meat grinder to get to
Right.
the end, and that would have been really cool for like my character, you know,
Right.
to have really triumphed over the odds. But it was
Right.
like I got like the easy run at the beginning, and then there was a rough match, and then I just kind of wish it had been booked a little differently. But that's 90% of my wrestling career, so. Hollywood Dylan Summers was
Tell us about that angle. That was
by far my
money,
my least favorite thing that I've ever been involved in as far as
Whose
long term.
Whose idea was that?
I don't have a fucking clue who would come up
Nobody
with this.
Nobody will take
No,
ownership in
nobody's
that.
copping to that one. I was told that I was entering into a feud with Necro,
Right.
and I'm
which
like,
is
fucking awesome.
Right.
Necro is the fucking man.
Yeah.
It's no secret that I'm a big admirer. So I was pumped. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a great year, you know, and then somewhere shortly thereafter, it got changed to, well, we're gonna turn Necro heel, and he's gonna be this Hollywood Dylan Summers character who does nothing, does collegiate wrestling matches and wears tights and fucking loafers and he's not Necro, you know,
Right.
And then when Cage of Death rolls around, we'll turn him back, and we'll have a big crazy Cage of Death match, and it'll build tension all year, and the fans will really want to see it, and then it'll finally happen, you know.
Mhm.
And I don't buy into that school of thought at all. I think that's just screw job wrestling. You're just screwing the fans out of a potentially awesome feud, you know.
right.
And then it didn't even fucking happen. We didn't even get the capper because I think Dylan and John fell out because he couldn't attend like an important
the
November
November
show or something like this.
Yeah.
And so John nixed that. He's not happy with Dylan. And I guess I understand that from a promoter's point of view. But you've been building something all year, and then you just fucking call it off, and it becomes a clusterfuck. Which was Cage of Death 10 was awful. But
John even says it was the worst Cage of Death
it
ever.
was awful. But we didn't know who was going to win until intermission. So we couldn't even put a match together. And this is like the biggest match of the year, and that decision hadn't been made. So we couldn't even put a match together.
Right.
And it was just disaster. And then the explosions didn't go off. And, there's a lot of fucking talented individuals in that ring. Could have had a really cool thing going on. But we couldn't really put much together because we didn't even know where it was leading, until halfway through the show. So that was just a very disappointing run. But I hated the Hollywood angle. That was very like, WWE style, like silly storyline kind of wrestling, and I fucking hated it, man. I hated it.
I don't think it just doesn't work in combat zone. You know what I mean?
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. So that was atrocious, and that's depressing.
Do you ever think you'll win another tournament of death?
I do not think that will happen.
Why?
Well, because there's a lot of other guys who have won, and I think that, I'm fine with that. I just wish that the one that I had won had been a little better.
Right.
I'm not pushing to try and win another one. In retrospect, it would have been nice if I'd had 3 really solid performances throughout, but it didn't happen. But then when I start thinking like this and I get myself blackout drunk and act like a fucking idiot, then that's when all my trophies get destroyed by the fury of these fucking angry boots, and I stomp them into splinters because because I'm bitter and I hate wrestling and I wish I wasn't a part of it.
But I mean, because that was what, 07, right?
I suppose.
When you won that. Or was it 08? It was 08.
It would have had to be 08, I think.
Right, yeah. Because, I mean, like the Carnage stuff before that, where you had a lot of input booked in, you know what I mean, like the storyline through.
Yeah, that was fun.
You know what I mean? Was that like more of what you would have wanted out of the tournament?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, everything made sense going into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I was just, kind of disappointed that, like, the one I won, because, like, the one Drake won,
Right.
he had fucking great matches throughout. You know what I mean? Scotty won this last one, had really good matches throughout. You know what I mean? And I just kind of like the first 2 fucking rounds were just forgettable. You know?
Right.
That is depressing, but what are you gonna do?
We'll go with the tough question
Tough
first.
questions.
Bring them on. Passing to J.C. Bailey.
I was in a good mood. You couldn't have left that for the end, and I was depressed at the end. Just broke my fucking heart. I don't even know what to say. Just one of my best friends, and loved him to death, and absolutely fucking ruined my life for a good time. And I don't even know what to say about it. JC was, my wife also was very close with him. They were good friends, and she described him, and this is the best way I could think of to put it, to explain to people who didn't know him. She described him as disarmingly genuine. Like, you talk to JC, he just opened up, like, wore his heart on his sleeve. And he just opened up to tell you about anything, his life and his problems and whatever. And I think in a lot of ways that probably made things tougher for him, because he was just so, honest and just out there. And sometimes you have to be a little more guarded, people aren't always nice about that. But I think a lot of people saw JC for his problems that he had, and obviously it was well documented.
Right.
I'm not letting anything out there, speaking ill of the dead, letting anything out there that wasn't well known. JC had a lot of problems, drugs in prison and things like that, and a lot of people saw that, and that was all they saw of him, and they didn't want to give him a chance. They just kind of wrote him off that that's who he was. And I think those people, honestly, I think they missed out a lot, because, like, he was a fucking great guy, and just really, really decent-hearted and kind, and would do anything he could for you, even if maybe he couldn't, he didn't have the means always, but he'd try, anything he could do. He was just a good friend, and it just really, really was hard, and you want to see people get what they deserve in life. You have to live thinking that this is something that is going to happen, and JC didn't get what he deserved, I mean, I'm not talking about, like, based on wrestling or his work ethic or anything like that. I'm just talking about as a person. He was a good person, and he should have had a full life and a fucking big house and wife and kids if that's what he wanted, and he didn't, and he was taken way too soon, and he didn't get what he deserved, and I don't know, man, that's just really depressing now. Thanks, Mike Burns. If there was a God, then JC would have got what he deserved, but there isn't, and he didn't, and that's the way it is, so. Thanks for bringing down the tone of the interview. It started off good, and then you had to go throw that curveball at me. Thought we were going sequentially. I was working up to being depressed, but no.
You're always depressed, as am I, but that's
true.
One of the matches on the DVD is the last match you had with him. No, we need this part.
You're planning to do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But on your list of matches was the JC match. I know you planned that match out in your head for
a very long time.
For a very long time.
I thought about that while he was, away at prison, and I wrote to him. We corresponded, and I feel even better now in hindsight that I did that. That I made sure to stay in touch and try and whatever. But because the last time I'd wrestled JC, I think I'd only ever wrestled him one-on-one before, years back, before we were even really friends.
Right.
and it was terrible. And I had an afro though, which was adorable. And then we wrestled a couple times in like, but we never actually really like hooked up in the ring.
Hooked up on the 1-1.
And so yeah, I was really excited. And I'm really glad. Obviously now, hindsight's 2020, and who could have known? But I'm really glad that I got to have that match with him on the last show he did, for CZW before he passed away. Because if I hadn't been able to do it or whatever, then I never would have, And I mean, that's in the grand scheme of things. Being his friend is much more important.
Right.
But to me, as a Mark, as a wrestling fan, as a friend of his, I just really wanted to have a good match with him, and I felt good about it. So that's a positive.
And there was like the backstage stuff. There was discussion like you and I had of because Kobayashi was coming in where we almost switched to, where you were dead fast against. Like I really wanted to wrestle.
JC, I was really excited about that, and I'm glad that it went down like it did.
Yeah, I mean, I think the star of the last one was really JC. Like
JC went fucking
worked
balls to the wall. He was so ready to get back to that shit.
Yeah. He was like, "Come on, man, let me win it." You know what I mean? It was like it was already promised, and with the way the whole storyline was supposed to go at that point, but. That was one of those things I wish I could have changed. Because he just had, but he would have definitely been a face after that, which would have been the problem.
Yeah, he would have had to be. And we couldn't do that for the storyline we were going after.
Right. Let's bring up a few names. Newer guys that are wrestling there now. Masada.
Masada is fucking cool. That guy is cool, and he scares me a little bit, but he's fucking cool.
I wouldn't fight him.
I wouldn't fight him in in a heartbeat, dude. It would be.
And he can drink.
He can seriously drink, which, as you know, is just about enough for me to be in your corner.
Right.
As if you can hold your booze, and like I can, and it's very interesting because like I found out like in his off time, like he's a bouncer or something like this, and that's kind of what you would expect. That falls in line with the kind of. But he also like makes like bone jewelry and stuff. Does crafts and stuff. And it's a very interesting thing to learn about somebody like that. He's got he's an artistic mind for such a big, scary fucking Phil Anselmo looking dude. He's artistic too. He makes crafts and shit. He makes his own bracelets and stuff. Really cool guy. That's all. I'm fond of him.
13 Lucky, whatever you want to call him today.
T-13?
T-13.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Did you come up with T-13?
Right.
Boo. Burns.
Boo. Oh, right.
Boo.
But I was going with 13 being like, because he went by Lucky, so some people say 13's lucky, unlucky.
Right.
So I want to
I saw where you're going. I'm not changing my opinion though. Boo. No.
Was either that or the number and put the 3 backwards. What did you want to do?
Actually, I really like Kevin.
Kevin is his name.
Kevin Papix. He's really cool. You may recall when he first showed up, I'd spent time around him previously. We'd actually.
Let's do the whole how he fell into the job.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
we'll expose the business here.
I wrestled for Dysfunction.
Right.
And had a match which I hope you will include on.
It's on.
Called it wasn't called anything. Had a match for ICW against Troy Walters.
Correct.
It was a death match. I was very happy with it. Surprisingly happy with it. It was the best match I did in the Midwest probably. And I thought, this Troy Walters, he's got a lot of talent. He works really hard. He's willing to do some crazy shit. Why is he not getting... So I pushed him to the fucking moon to you.
As did Drake.
As did Drake. Anybody. He's extremely talented.
As did Robles.
Yeah, extremely talented. And twice he fucking bailed for one reason or another, and I don't remember the reasons, but I know that I don't buy it. It's bullshit. And
I think one of them was like, "Oh, the clowns are gonna tour."
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, that.
Well,
I don't think that happened.
I don't understand his motivations because this was an opportunity to ply your trade in front of a lot more people and get seen, but he didn't, and essentially turned it down. You know what I mean? Like that's but not even. Not even
like
value,
right. It was like chasing, like, "Hey, are you coming in? Hey, Dysfunction, can you get a hold of Troy to see if he's fucking coming in?"
Well, Troy would have been fucking great for that role,
right?
Had he, but so Kevin got kind of thrown in at the last minute because he was willing to do it, and we knew he was talented from his previous, but we didn't know how he was going to fit with like deathmatch stuff,
right?
But he came in and he was willing, and he was worked hard, and when I first went to wrestle or was going to wrestle him like on his debut show or his re-debut show,
Right.
kind of we got off to a bad start because he wanted to do all this like arm work and fucking technical wrestling and all this stuff that he was used to, and that
Right.
was his thing. And I was like, no, this is not gonna fly. And I came to you and I said that I wasn't happy with it.
Right.
And it was explained to him that that wasn't the character that he was going to be playing. And ever since then, I've really enjoyed working with him. And he's fun and he's down to do a lot of shit. And he'll do some crazy shit. He's got a good attitude. Good dude. I'm fond of him.
Yeah, so I think in the end it
I'm in his
worked out.
corner now. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, that first show, like, are you sure this is the right? We were at a point where we had fucking nobody else to fit the role. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
It was able to do the high flying stuff. You know what I mean? Because it was supposed to be the opposite
Right,
of
we wanted because we got Brain Damage and Masada, two
and
like the scariest guys in the fucking wrestling world, on the same team, and then we had JC, who was a deathmatch fucking legend at this point,
Right.
had done it all, and then we needed somebody who was going to counteract that, sort of like balance out the team and do some of the high spot kind of stuff.
Yeah, you couldn't have everybody in there wrestle Masada and Brain Damage
No,
because nobody should ever win.
no, they would be
Work
obviously the
or
most-
shoot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they would be the most dominant team. They would be
Yeah.
the Legion of Doom,
Doom.
for CZW.
Right.
But no, I think Lucky has filled the role nicely to this point.
Um,
I look forward to seeing him get thrown off the cage. I think that's definitely going to happen. There's no way he's not flipping off that cage somehow. That'll be fun.
Right. How about the death match with Joe Gacy? How scared was he on that?
He was nervous. I like Joe.
Exposing the
I
business.
like Joe.
Right.
He's cool, and I actually like that match.
Right.
But I think it was. Somebody told me that it was the best match on that show. Which may or may not be the case, but I appreciated the compliment. I was happy with the
Liars. No, sorry.
Listen, it was a pretty
Yeah.
mediocre show.
It was a bad show.
But yeah, well, I was trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. But no, I like that match and stuff. But he was not visibly like nervous going into the match.
Right.
I think he was a little trepidatious because he hadn't done a lot of deathmatch kind of hardcore stuff before. But I tried to put him at ease. Like I don't,
Right.
like back in the day, Nicky's calmed down a lot. But back in the day, he would scare the young guy. You know
Right,
what I mean?
yeah.
You'd be scared to get in with him. I remember this. But I try and put people at ease. I'm a lot more laid back, and it's gonna be fine. Just we'll fucking hit each other and it's whatever. But he was fucking scared because at the end, for no reason whatsoever other than I'm a dick and I thought it'd be good for the story, I just decided after I'd pinned him to pick up a Christmas bulb and just bash it on his fucking head. And I'd done it earlier in the match with no result, and it was
Right.
no problem. But this time, he opened up like a fucking sieve, and he was just pouring, just pissing blood, and you could see in his eyes, he was just terrified. He's like, "Oh my god, what's happened?" I've had that fucking deathmatch accident that everybody
Right.
is scared to have when they first start. You know what I mean? He thought he was fucking dying, but he was fine. It was a tiny little, but it just happened to bleed a lot. I don't know if he'd eaten a lot of aspirin or got real drunk, but he fucking just poured like a fucking downpour. It was really enjoyable. But I
Freakish,
wish it happened during the match, but then he probably wouldn't have finished the match, I guess,
Right.
or not as well.
freakish accents. Since it happened after our last interview when Gage got hurt.
Oh, Jesus, that was the fucking scariest thing in the world, dude. I didn't even know about it until after the fact, because I had been out in the crowd, and if you were to watch the DVD, you would see this. That I had been out in the crowd with a beer in each hand, and I was completely fucking out of my gourd, because why did I need to be sober anymore? The fucking
Right.
match was done. Fuck it. And like all the faces like rushed to the ring, and I didn't know what had happened. I had missed it.
Right.
But I was like, oh shit, this looks like I should probably be a part of this, since I had to hand off my beers and like run through the crowd and jump the guardrail. And I got there just after they got done beating up whoever the fuck they were beating up, and I missed the entire thing. And I didn't know what had happened for like 20 minutes because we were out there forever, and I knew something had gone awry. But then I heard that Gage, and then seeing the footage, was fucking terrifying. He's just bleeding like crazy, and apparently this whole deal with like almost dying. Like, I really like death matches, dude. They're fucking cool.
Right.
But when somebody like dies for a couple minutes, it's like, I know it was just a fluke thing,
Right.
and it couldn't have been predicted, But that's a bit of a deterrent.
Right.
It's hard to get motivated after that, to really go in there and smash shit up. It's a bit of a deterrent, you know? But
Makes you relook at it.
I'm glad
like,
he didn't die. That
Yeah.
would have been much, much worse.
that would have been really fucked up.
Scary shit, dude. And this is overlooked because obviously that's a much bigger thing. But, like, Wax in our match did a spear.
Oh, and
And, like,
Spirit himself.
first of all, just basically broke his neck, but didn't
Right.
somehow.
Somehow,
But he
yeah.
also had, like, a gash that nobody even noticed because of his big beard.
Right.
It, like, went down his fucking jugular, like, down his
Right.
throat, and it was huge, and it was fucking awful. And when I found out about it, like, after the fact, nobody even noticed until we'd been in the back for a while. And then it's like, oh, shit, there's a fucking gaping hole here. You
Right.
can fit nickels in this thing, you know?
The bar?
Yes, absolutely. So that was really fucking scary too, because like your neck, as you think,
Right.
well, Jesus, it's no good, man. I haven't stopped doing stupid things, but it
Right.
like, it
But
makes
you try
it
to
makes you think a little more
rethink
about
them
like
through.
yeah, you plan them out a little better, you know.
Right.
You see things like this, and you're like, well, I need to really. How is this going to affect? Like, how am I realistically going to land? What body parts are going to be exposed? What do I need to protect? You think it through a little more,
Right.
after you've seen some shit like that, you know.
Everybody's favorite guy there for about 18 months, Thumbtack Jack.
Thumbtack Jack. I get along famously with
Right.
Alexander Bedranowski. I just like name dropping people because it's
Can
fun.
Facebook
It's a
him.
fun name to fucking throw out there.
Right.
Bedranowski. He must have Russian descendants or something. I think that he's a cool guy. I think that he's a little reckless sometimes, as he has thrown a number of glass objects into my eyes. And I do not approve of this. But other than that, I get along with him quite well. I think that he got over so much.
So
He was huge over. And I think that has a lot to do with just the fact that he's foreign. And having a legitimate foreigner, not somebody playing a foreigner, but a legitimate, it brings just like this element of newness. And you like to imagine like that crazy European guy, you know, he's
Right.
like, man, because most people, especially most people that attend CZW events, probably have been in Europe and don't know what it's like over there. So you can create this whole like persona of, you know, like this crazy butcher from Germany, and
Right.
we don't know what it's like over there. It could be fucking scary as fuck, you know? And
Right.
he's bumping on needles and shit. And this guy's a fucking lunatic, and he is. He does some crazy ass shit, you know. But I think like his foreignness really helped him, because I think that if he had played the same character from America, probably would have got shit on, because Europeans and Americans do not have the same culture. And
Right.
if he, like, over here, he'd like a heavy, like, emo guy, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And that's not going to get over as, like, but we forgive him his transgressions of emo-ness because he's from Europe and things are different over there, so
Right.
fucking we'll give him a pass. And, you know, in turn, he entertained us greatly, so, you know, good for him.
Do you think it was wise? Because don't you think he was kind of like at the peak where he decided to stop doing the death matches?
I suppose it depends on, you know, like what you look at. He probably could have made a lot more trips around
Right.
the world and, you know, to America and wherever, you know, what have you, had he continued down that path. But at the same time, in a sort of like, if he's looking to have a legacy, you know
Right.
what I mean? There's some, he quit, you know, at his peak, at his prime, doing that kind of stuff. And so he's going to be remembered as the guy who never really sucked. You know what I mean? He never really had a downhill,
Right.
you know.
But now
slide.
he-
and that's.
But isn't he
intelligent.
isn't he wrestling DJ on the Germany?
Yeah, I think he is, but I don't think he's not. He's got a weird definition of death matches. Like
No
anything,
light tubes.
Anything up to thumbtacks, he's cool with. But
Okay.
But above that, no. I mean, he does thumbtacks, but like
Right.
anything above that, light tubes, barbed wire, fucking needles, what have you.
Right.
He's done with that. So that's how he balances it in his mind. But honestly, I think he's probably going to get a lot more hurt doing like regular shit, because he's going to end up like bumping on concrete and doing cage matches and like the heavy blows of chairs and kendo sticks and whatever, anything that's not sharp, that he's going to take, because I know him, that he's going to take
Right.
to get over to that degree, are going to end up having a lot more damaging impact on his head and his back and the bones, which really is a bigger problem in the long run. Like, of course, Nick Gage almost bleeding out, cutting your throat, whatever.
Right.
These things are very serious, but for the most part, it's a lot easier to get over by breaking some glass and bleeding, and that shit heals up in a couple days.
Right.
But you're trying to make up for it doing regular matches. I already know he's taking bumps on concrete and all this shit. That's going to end up probably being worse for him in the long run.
Right. Yeah.
His decision.
Anybody out there you see is like an up and coming deathmatch guy, or
I think there's maybe like Jimmy Havoc from, who's obviously we're related.
right?
All Havocs are gonna be cool. It's
Yeah.
except for Davey Havoc from AFI, he sucks. But like, he's pretty good from what I've seen, and I mean, Japan's always producing great. But as far as here, I don't know, man. It seems like there are not a lot of people.
A lot of no new options.
Not a lot of new like guys stepping up to the deathmatch plate, and I guess maybe people are smartening up, and
Right.
you know there aren't a lot of idiots like me out there who are like, oh, I want to be the next guy to fucking destroy my body and
Right.
not get paid much for it. But it's kind of disappointing. I'd like to see some new up and comers really going out there and balls to the wall. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm sure somebody will emerge from the
woodwork.
fog here, yeah, sooner or later.
Yeah, I know. Like Dysfunction is doing another Insane 8, and I think it has a bunch of fresh guys in it.
Yeah, well, that'd be interesting to take a look at and see how they fare.
Favorite Big Japan guy?
Favorite? Well, it'd have to be as far as like charisma, like the thing Kasai, because he's got that like punk rock, self-destructive kind of charisma that like he's got the look and the feel and just comes across like he doesn't give a shit, and that's so fucking cool. That's how you build like an icon.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Is like have that kind of that feel to him. As far as like work, I'm really big fan of Takeshi Sasaki, who's very kick-oriented, and then a newer guy, Masashi Takeda, are both super fucking exciting for me to watch. So check that out.
All right, hope to see you there. What's your take on drugs in wrestling?
I like them. Big fan. I'm coming out for drugs. Also, kids, do try this at home. Don't be pussies. Don't be pussies. I did it, and look what a success I am at life. Yeah, drugs are great. I like them. I'm a big fan. Is that all?
I think we end on that note.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, we're all on the way out.
Right.
Like, life is going to kill every single one of us. Might as well have a good fucking time
You can't survive forever.
as you do it.
There's no Highlanders.
Something's got to kill you.
Right.
Might as well have fun with it.
And how are the herpes?
Subsiding. And
Good.
thanks for the cream. I appreciate it.